No, look, there's I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy.
But I'm gonna go with Canelo because he didn't hold Turkey's hand.
Canelo Alvarez acknowledged Terence Crawford's recent knockout performances with respect, praising his display of skill. He highlighted Crawford's dominant victory over Errol Spence, noting how easily he seemed to secure the win. At the same time, Canelo questioned the overall strength of Crawford's resume, suggesting that Spence is the only truly elite opponent he has faced so far. Looking forward, Alvarez left things open-ended, saying the real story will unfold once they finally share the ring, keeping fans eager to see how it plays out.
Are you tired of people asking you about Terence yet?
No, look, I always say I respect Terence Crawford. He's a very talented fighter, but he just win one big fight. If you see his record, he just beat one good fighter like Errol Spence is.
Yes.
But other than that, I don't think he's beating other great fighter like Spence. He did a really good job with the Spence. He did like almost look very easy. But I knew Terence Crawford is a great fighter.
Canelo suggested that he already has a clear read on Crawford's style and strategy, showing confidence in the way he's preparing for the matchup. With a grin, he added that Turkey Alalshik, who will be working in Crawford's corner, might end up leaving disappointed on fight night, adding another layer of intensity and personal rivalry to the battle.
I know Turkey is in your corner,
I promise
but look, it's going to be very difficult. He's going to be so mad that day. Believe me.
I see you. I see you. You see I'm different.
I see you too.
Canelo's choice to spar with Jaron Ennis is being praised as a clever strategy. According to Johnny Ortiz, Ennis closely mirrors Terence Crawford in both physique and fighting approach, making him an ideal training partner. This gives Canelo the chance to read Crawford's rhythm, footwork, and strengths up close, while also refining his own timing and defensive skills. On the flip side, Ennis benefits by gaining valuable experience alongside a seasoned champion like Canelo. Ortiz believes it's a win-win situation, where both fighters come out sharper, making the training camp setup especially smart.
Makes sense, and it's definitely good experience for both. Eddie Reynoso and Canelo, shout out to them because now it shows that they serious with a real game plan, and Boots is, to me, everybody's a perfect opponent. I wouldn't say opponent, perfect sparring partner to have to replicate Crawford because they both switch hitters and stuff like that, and they got dog in them and reflexes for sure. So it shows Canelo serious, and on Boots' end, to be able to spar a Hall of Famer, top tier guy, it gave him great experience, and you could tell he really wants it. It's a sport where Boots is getting an opportunity to spar a Hall of Famer. Who cares? In reality, what the fuck loyalty does Boots owe to Crawford when it comes to the sport of boxing? I mean, Crawford didn't do shit even back while Boots was trying to get his opportunity when it was Spencer Crawford. Every time Boots' name got mentioned, you heard the bud clowns be like, oh yeah, he don't deserve it. Oh, who did he fight? Oh, who this and that, man? I ain't trying to hear that shit. It's like it's different shit that you need to be woke up outside of boxing. Boxing is a sport. There's shit that we need to really come together. I didn't see y'all come together like 5 years. The bud clowns, because it's real fans, the bud clowns is Dash and PBC. Everything Boots, when you bring up Boots' name, putting him down, I didn't hear like, oh yeah, instead of fighting Canelo or fighting this person, he should fight.
Jose Benvidez emphasized the importance of Canelo Alvarez bringing in Jaron Boots Ennis as part of his sparring team. He explained that Ennis shares several traits with Terence Crawford, such as size, movement, and overall style, which makes him an ideal stand-in during training. Having that kind of opponent in camp, Benvidez noted, helps Canelo mentally prepare for the challenges he'll face under the lights. He also pointed out that Crawford's naturally smaller frame, compared to Canelo, could become a factor once they're in the ring. In his view, working with a strong, stylistically similar partner doesn't just sharpen Canelo's skills. It reinforces a belief that he holds the edge even before the first punch is thrown.
Maybe a little bit more confidence that he is sparring somebody really good. Ennis is a really good fighter, and I think that would be a good motivation, for Canelo Alvarez. I just think that Crawford is too small for Canelo. I think Canelo's too big for Crawford, but in my opinion, I think if Crawford could maybe just tap, hook, get out, maybe once in a while throw a straight punch and just win by points and use his legs, I think I see him winning by decision. But if he tries to exchange with Canelo Alvarez, I think he's gonna make a mistake and he's gonna get hit with one shot and maybe he can get hurt and that would change the whole fight, But I think he's faster. Crawford is faster and a straight punch, get out, Don't stay there to throw or try to trade with Canelo Alvarez.
Okay, fair to say. Fair to say. Now, do you feel like when it comes down to the demeanor of making that decision of bringing it in, does it show that he's taking this camp perhaps a little bit more serious than others? I mean, what do you think about just the move per se?
It's very difficult to say. He's never brought anybody really good to his camp until this time. Maybe he's lacking out of confidence, or maybe he just wants to use them to trick the people, or, it's very awkward and very funny that he brought Ennis to his camp, So, but at the end of the day, they know what they're doing, and we got to respect that. And
boxing landscape has entered a new era, with streaming platforms driving record-breaking audiences for major events. The Netflix spectacle featuring Jake Paul and Mike Tyson pulled an incredible 65 million viewers, setting a new benchmark for combat sports viewership. That fight demonstrated that global interest in the sport is far larger than many expected. Now, attention turns to the upcoming showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, a matchup with the potential to surpass even those numbers. This bout isn't just about two champions squaring off. It represents a chance to create a historic moment on a worldwide stage. Fans across the globe are eager to see whether this clash can deliver even more buzz and engagement than the Paul Tyson blockbuster.
1 million people were watching that fight, which is crazy, hence why it broke Netflix servers. I do wonder what this does. I think it does around 10 to 15, which is still an incredible number. The problem with these two, and I was saying this morning actually to Gareth A. Davis, there's no antagonizer here, is there? No one is willing to play the role of the bad guy, the heel, the bully. And you almost need that a little bit. Jake Paul was actually quite smart in the way in which he promoted the Tyson fight. Obviously, look, it's Mike Tyson. But it was promoted so well where Jake was willing to be the guy that, I'm going to fuck up the greatest fighter of all time. He was willing to kind of say all those things and play that role. So people almost tuned in to see him get chinned as well. Neither of these guys are playing that role. Neither of these guys, I don't think, have crossed over massively to non-boxing fans. To us, they're like gods, but to non-boxing fans, I do wonder.
Terence Crawford has built his reputation on never shying away from tough matchups, and his approach to preparing for Canelo reflects his methodical mindset. He admits that facing naturally bigger fighters presents real challenges, but he also stresses that there are ways to neutralize those advantages. One key tactic, according to Crawford, is forcing larger opponents onto the back foot. Since most bigger fighters are used to pressing forward and controlling the action, making them retreat puts them in an uncomfortable and unfamiliar position.
Forward. It's two things that you can do with somebody bigger and stronger. You can either try to push them back, because 9 times out of 10, a strong fighter not used to going back, so it kind of fucks them up in the head, Yeah. Or you can just box them because some of them just slower than others because they got flat feet, and they just looking to load up on certain shots.
Now, Crawford's definitely right here. There's two ways to beat a pressure fighter like Canelo. either you put the pressure back on him, which is where guys like Triple G and Bivol had success, or you use your superior skills and footwork on the outside, which is how Floyd Mayweather won. Now, Crawford, he can't use the pressure approach because he's not as physically dominant as guys like Golovkin or Bivol. Bud is a welterweight or junior middleweight jumping up. He doesn't have the size to push Canelo.
Pushing opponents backward, Crawford disrupts their rhythm. His second key approach is to sap their energy and take advantage of the flat-footed tendencies that often come with carrying extra weight. These strategies highlight Crawford's sharp-ring intelligence. He knows that winning isn't just about grit, but about transforming potential disadvantages into opportunities. His training camp has been structured around these ideas, blending conditioning with tactical precision as he prepares for the toughest test of his career.
To cut off the ring at times, we saw that in the Skull fight, and he does load up on single shots now. But at the same time, Crawford is not the same pure boxer that Floyd Mayweather was. Mayweather rarely got hit in that shell, and his form of countering, a pull counter for example, was, I'm not going to get touched and then I'll make you pay. Whereas Crawford's style of counterpunching is different. Bud will take one to throw 2 or 3 back, and he can't do that against Canelo because of the size and power difference. If Bud takes a clean right hand to throw back an uppercut or a hook, he's either going to get dropped or he's going to end up on his bike like Jermell Charlo. So while I do agree Crawford does have the superior skill set in this fight, but because he doesn't have the size to push Canelo back, or the defense of someone like Mayweather to stay perfect for 12 rounds on the outside.
Although much of the pre-fight narrative centers on rivalry, Terence Crawford has been vocal about his admiration for Canelo Alvarez's legacy in the sport. He acknowledges Canelo as one of the final links to boxing's golden era, an athlete who shared the ring with past greats and helped keep the tradition alive. For Crawford, facing Canelo goes beyond titles or records. It represents a chance to measure himself against someone who has carried boxing's torch across generations. By framing the bout this way, Crawford adds a layer of respect and meaning to the storyline.
Amongst the era that surpassed us, the Floyd, the Pacquiao, the De La Hoya, we both came up in that era, and he was right there with those fighters, and he got the chance to fight the Miguel Cottos, the Floyd Mayweathers, and the Kovalevs and Triple Gs, and I wasn't able to get those mega fights, so this is my mega fight, this is my moment, and that's the reason why I want to fight an all-time great like
John Porter offers a contrasting viewpoint, arguing that Canelo won't present Crawford with anything unfamiliar. In his eyes, Crawford has already proven himself against a wide range of opponents: fast movers, heavy punchers, skilled counterpunchers, and even naturally larger fighters. Porter believes his versatility is what sets Crawford apart, giving him the tools to adapt to any style. From his perspective, Canelo's size and power may be factors, but they won't be enough to overwhelm Crawford's well-rounded skill set. For fans, Porter's take brings another layer of balance to the ongoing debate.
Anything that he hasn't seen before. No, he hasn't seen this beast on fight night, but he's seen versions of this beast for a very, very, very long time. People have said that he's a blown-up 147-pound fighter. If you remember, he said it was hard for him to make 147 when he fought Errol Spence Jr. I was like, how is that possible? I didn't realize he was really doing everything that's needed to gain the weight properly. Most fighters don't know how to gain weight and fit into a weight class properly.
Antonio Tarver views a matchup through the lens of danger, stressing that Canelo needs only a single clean shot to completely shift the fight. While he acknowledges that Crawford may be the more active and technically refined boxer, Tarver points out that Alvarez's punching power is a great equalizer, with his decades of experience in the sport. Tarver warns that one slip against a hitter like Canelo could bring an abrupt end to the contest. His perspective serves as a reminder that Crawford's margin of error is razor thin. He must stay sharp every second of every round.
For every second of every round.
And Canelo only need one punch. You know what I mean? That really, basically, that's what it boils down to. I think Canelo only need one shot to change the game or change the fight. Crawford gonna have to stay consistent and win out. Gonna have to get ahead and stay ahead. You know what I mean? And then also looming is the controversy. Can Crawford win a close decision? I could never win a close decision. I never won a close decision. That's what's looming. I think if Crawford is going to guarantee victory, he got to stop him.
A man who ain't been stopped.
He got to stop him, bro.
Yeah, challenge.
So that's going to be the challenge. So I like Bud. I've always loved Bud, bro. But he in for a hell of a fight. If Saul show up, it's gonna be
Andre Rozier underscored the importance of Canelo Alvarez choosing Jaron Ennis as a sparring partner, pointing to it as proof of how seriously Canelo is taking his preparation. In Rozier's view, bringing in a top-level fighter like Ennis reflects not only respect for Terence Crawford's abilities, but also Canelo's refusal to underestimate the challenge ahead. By surrounding himself with partners who can replicate aspects of Crawford's style, Alvarez is ensuring he's tested in camp the same way he'll be tested in the ring. Rozier credits this mindset, constant adaptation, thorough preparation, and a willingness to push himself as a major reason why Canelo has remained at the top for so long. For fans, that dedication is reassurance that both fighters will enter the ring at their absolute best, leaving no room for excuses.